Divine Feminine, the moment you felt coming. The moment you've been feeling deep within your soul is finally here. And it's not something you can see on your phone screen, nor is it about waiting for a phone call or the sudden arrival of a message. This goes far beyond a simple text or fleeting gesture. It's something deeper, a profound understanding that transcends words. It's about how your soul recognizes his presence, not just in his words but in his energy. You feel him differently now, more stable, more grounded, more present, even in moments of silence. This isn't about hearing words or seeing grand gestures. It's a deep spiritual alignment that has shifted between the two of you. When the divine masculine is finally ready for union, he does not return to fill a void within you. He doesn't come back because he has a need or a desire to mend a broken piece of himself with you. He returns because his soul has awakened to the realization of who you truly are. He remembers you, not just as a person, but as a spiritual counterpart. But here's the truth that most people don't discuss openly. When he is ready, you must also be ready. Because union is not just about romantic love. It's about resonance on a soul level. It's about maturity, understanding, and responsibility. If you're still holding on to a fantasy of how things should be or how you expected them to be, you may miss the miracle standing right in front of you. So here's the profound question you need to ask yourself. Are you still waiting for the man who left, hoping he will return as the same person you once knew? Or are you ready to receive the man who has risen and transformed to meet you? This isn't about a reunion of what once was. It's about a divine reuniting of who you are both meant to be now. Have you started to feel this shift in him, even if he hasn't reached out yet? Perhaps you always imagined the moment he'd come back. Maybe you thought it would be a dramatic, emotional, and passionate moment. Maybe in your mind, he'd show up at your door, finally saying everything you've been yearning to hear. But what if his return doesn't look like that at all? What if the divine masculine's return, when he is truly ready, isn't filled with fireworks or emotional outbursts? What if instead he returns with clarity, with presence, with an energy of stillness that says, "I've faced myself, and now I'm ready to face you"? His readiness is not just about romance. It's about energetic alignment. It means he's no longer running away from his emotions. He's no longer building walls of logic to hide behind. He's no longer numbing himself with distractions or pretending to be something he's not. He has been through the fire of transformation, and this time, he stayed in it long enough to burn away all the illusions and false beliefs he once held. But here's the unexpected twist. When he is ready, you aren't the same woman he left behind either. While he was waking up to his soul, you were going through your own awakening. You learned how to stop chasing him, how to hold your own frequency, how to love without losing yourself in the process. And now you meet again, not in desperation, but in devotion. The energy is different now, less chaotic, more sacred, more harmonious. It's less about needing each other to complete each other, and more about choosing each other from a place of already feeling whole. This time, the love isn't rooted in lack, but in the abundant knowing that you both are already whole and complete. So what really happens when he's finally ready? You will feel the shift before you even see it. It will manifest in his energy, in his silence, in the way the universe begins to shift around you both. The shift won't be about proving anything or making anyone understand. It will be about remembering everything, the good, the bad, and the promise. The past will no longer have the hold it once did. What will matter is the divine purpose and the soul contract you both agreed upon long before you entered this lifetime together. So, divine feminine, will you recognize him when he returns? Not as the person who left, but as the person who has finally chosen to trust his heart and step into his truth. Think about it. This time, the recognition won't just be based on familiar faces or words, but on the energy between you, the recognition of his soul meeting yours on the deepest level. Tell me in the comments, are you beginning to feel the new energy rising from your counterpart, even before you can see it in his actions? Before the divine masculine can truly return, not just physically, but energetically aligned, There has to be an internal shift, a profound transformation that happens within him. This shift isn't a simple one. It's a complete dismantling of everything he once believed about love, about himself, about identity, safety, and control. It is a soul-deep transformation that changes him at the core. You may have thought he was just avoiding you, ghosting you, or running from the connection, but the reality is much deeper. Behind the scenes, he has been unraveling quietly, painfully, and silently. For him to be truly ready for union, he first has to meet the version of himself he's been avoiding his whole life. This means facing all the suppressed emotions, all the shame, all the vulnerability he's kept hidden, and all the societal conditioning that has taught him that love makes you weak. He's had to unlearn everything about himself that no longer serves his truth. What does this inner shift really look like? It starts with breakdowns, moments where everything he once relied upon for stability and comfort begins to fall away. Relationships that once worked for him stop functioning. The career he once believed was his calling starts to feel empty and hollow. The things that used to numb him, whether it be success, socializing, quiet, or substances, begin to lose their effect, because they were never meant to hold him in the way truth does. Only truth can hold him now. And this is when he begins to feel what he once ran from. His real emotions, his dreams, his intuition. The suppressed feelings come rushing back, and he begins to hear your voice in the quiet moments of his soul. He starts remembering you, not just as a woman, but as his divine counterpart. This is not a gentle process. It's raw. It's messy. It's complicated, but it is sacred. It's necessary. Only when he's stripped bare of all his false identities, only when everything he once held onto is burned away, can the real masculine finally emerge. This masculine is no longer the wounded protector, the emotionally armored person. He is the awakened man, the one who holds space, not silence, the one who chooses presence over avoidance. And here's what makes this process even harder for him. He was never taught how to heal. He was taught how to fix things, but not how to feel them. So, as he shifts, he's not just evolving, he's rewiring his entire emotional and spiritual system. This is the moment when something divine begins to happen. He doesn't just realize he wants love, he realizes he is capable of receiving it. This realization shifts everything for him. Vulnerability, once seen as weakness, is now seen as courage. Openness, once seen as defeat, is now recognized as strength. This is when a new desire is born within him, not just to come back to you, but to meet you as an equal. Not to be rescued, but to rise alongside you. So ask yourself, Divine Feminine, can you feel the shift in him, even if you can't yet see it? Can you hold your frequency steady as he finds his way back to his truth and his soul's purpose? Because when the masculine is truly ready, it won't be a chase. It won't be a desperate race to reconnect. It will be a return. A return not to the past, but to the soul agreement you both made long before this lifetime. Union isn't just about romance. It's about the energy between you. It's about the unseen bond that was formed long before you ever met in the physical. The energy is where the true union starts, before bodies even touch. When most people imagine twin flame union, they picture romantic gestures, passionate reunions, and physical closeness. But true union goes beyond emotions or fairy tale moments. It's about two souls aligning long before the physical bodies meet. So what does union really feel like when it's not based on romance? It feels like calm. It's not about fireworks, but about grounding presence. You stop trying to convince him of your worth. You stop decoding mixed signals or worrying about what's next, because energetically, you both know it's already happening. Your souls have agreed. We're ready. There's no more tug of war between chaser and runner. There's no anxiety about the future. You both stand grounded, rooted in your truth. Energetic union is when the connection between you stabilizes in a way that can't be explained. You can feel his energy even when he's not around. You communicate without speaking because the energy between you is so strong that words are no longer needed. There's no urgency or pressure, just a sacred knowing between you both. Physical contact may still be minimal. He might not say all the things you've been longing to hear, but the energy between you speaks louder than any words could. Union is when your nervous system feels relaxed, even if he hasn't texted or called. It's when your heart feels safe even without constant reassurance. It's when love isn't about being physically together, but about being energetically aligned. You stop watching the 3D world for signs. You stop waiting for a moment to prove that it's real. Because you already know it's real. And this is why many divine feminines miss the moment of energetic union. They're waiting for it to look like a proposal, a grand romantic gesture, or a weekend getaway. But true union might arrive quietly. It might happen in the stillness of meditation, in a dream that shifts your heart, or in a morning when you suddenly feel at peace without knowing why. When the masculine is ready, he starts to feel it too. He might not be able to explain it in spiritual terms, but he knows something has shifted. He stops resisting. He stops hiding. He begins to remember that love is not something he has to earn. It's something he already is. So, beautiful soul, can you hold space for this union? Not as a physical event first, but as an energetic connection that has already been forged between you both. Can you trust the stillness, even when your mind hasn't caught up yet? Can you celebrate the connection in silence? Because silence no longer means absence. Energetic union is the invisible thread that holds everything in place, and once that alignment is made, the rest will manifest naturally, not through chase, but through magnetism. Tell me in the comments, have you felt the shift into energetic union? How do you know when it's real, even without the proof in the physical?